Welcome to another video, you guys. Some amazing information for you. A very good set of universities have recently put out early admits and rejects, and I want you to know about the statistics. More so, if you are applying to universities right now, you should keep these in mind because this is exactly how the universities are going to be behaving if you send in your applications to these universities. All right, and some of them still are accepting applications, so you can really benefit from that. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. But before that, please consider subscribing to the channel so I can bring such freshly viewed content for you on a daily basis. Moving on to the video, we're going to go on to ymgrad.com, and I'm going to go on to the decisions section right under the resources drop down, and from here we're going to select our first university. Okay, we're selecting ASU over here. ASU. Now you'll see a lot of surprising admits and rejects later on as well. ASU is probably not the one that you will find a lot of surprise in. For instance, over here you can see that most of the decisions have just come out recently, Jan 22nd, right? So just 1 day, 2 days before, right? Now in terms of the actual admits and rejects, please take a look. This profile right here, 8.3 out of 10, right? Decent GRE score, decent TOEFL score, no work ex required, no research papers required. At the same point of time, no funding awarded, right? Similar admits and rejects, you will find very similar profiles are actually able to bag the admits. Even though the GRE score can be a little bit lower, the work ex can be a little bit higher, a little bit 10% up or down, similar profile, but you'll see an admit in most cases. Oh, it looks like we also selected the applied and the rejects. Let's actually look at the admits first, and let's just change that. Okay, moving on, we do have a lot of similar profiles, somewhere around an 8.5 GPA. You can see that this is the average kind of profile which has gotten the admits right now. So where are these people with a 7.5? They probably haven't heard from ASU yet, or they may be in rejects. For that, let's just take a look. Okay, so, and you can see everyone who's around an 8.5 and a decent enough GRE score and TOEFL score, right? They're able to get in. Right here you can see similar profiles, right? Some profiles are actually better in terms of the scores, in terms of the work ex as well, right? And they are also able to get in, right? And you can see that most decisions just came out in the last 4 or 5 days only. So these are actually the latest ones out there at this moment, and I'm here bringing you access to this information first thing. Of course, you can actually go ahead and do more research on these. You can actually open up some of these profiles. You can take a look at their resumes if they have uploaded them. You can take a look at their other decisions if they already have them yet, right? You can take a look at their overall profile, what kind of target term they have, what kind of GRE scores they have, IELTS scores, etc., etc. Most of this information is available directly on their profile, and of course, sometimes you'll also get resumes over here. Now, moving on to the next one, we are done with ASU, but actually, let me just take a look at ASU rejects right here. Right, so I'll just take a look at the rejects. Let's see if the reject decisions have also come out. See, 6.62 out of 10. All right, there's a clear distinction over here. 7.74. We were talking about this, right? Where are the 6s, the 7s, and where are all the people who have a little bit of a lower profile? You can see most of these have actually, like this profile, you can see it's borderline admit profile, but it actually got a reject. So there's a lot that you can make out, like even with this profile right here, almost a 9 out of 10 GPA. Also sometimes you will see basically a reject, right? So all of these things have to be kept in mind, but all of these are actually decisions which came out in the last couple of days only. Let's take a look at the next university right here, and that's Stevens. Let me just type that in, Stevens, and I'm going to take a look at the rejects first. Okay, we don't have any rejects as of now because you can see that most of these are actually pretty old. What about the admits though? Right, so in terms of the admits, there's a lot of data right here. In terms of the admits, we have people with 7.7 decent profiles, and the biggest thing about SIT, Stevens Institute of Technology, is that they're giving out a lot of funding this year. You can see right here, $10,000 of annual funding. This person has got $10,000 of lump sum, and again, similar profile as you can see. Very similar, statistics in general. A little bit of a GPA increase over here, which is, of course, this one actually is significant, but apart from that, the overall profile is pretty similar. You can see that, some people also have admits, and these are mostly from computer science, and, most people do have some funding, but some people do not have funding as well. So it depends from person to person perspective, what they liked on the application, what kind of, goals this person represented on their profile, right, depicted on their profile. All of these things came into account. For instance, if you have a better GPA, and this is one thing I can map right here for SIT, is if you have a better GPA, you can expect better funding, right? And this is annual funding, not lump sum, right? So a lot of people are getting these sort of fundings, again, depending on their profile. And of course, all of these decisions are actually pretty damn latest. 21st Jan, most of them have come out. You can see all of the decision dates are actually 21st Jan, right over here, right? So these are the decisions. I encourage you to apply to SIT if the deadline has not passed yet. For at least for CS people, we can see that it's worked out very, very well. Of course, there are other admits as well, other sort of programs that even came out earlier a little bit, like business analytics right here came out even earlier in December itself, and you can see that they have also given out pretty generous funding over here as well, right? So decisions are starting to roll out for fall 22. You guys, you really need to actually capitalize on this data, right? Let's take a look at the final university for now, and that is going to be SUNY Buffalo, right? We're going to open it up. First, let's look at the admits, all right, because we're right over here anyway. And you can see over here also, it's been a pretty safe university this year for most applicants, even with a GPA of 7.1 out of 10 and a decent enough profile, decent enough work ex of about 2 years, people are able to bag this university as well, right? And of course, no funding over here, so that's something that you can expect. If you're applying to SUNY Buffalo, most times you will not see a lot of funding. So this is exactly what we also do. Like when we are building your shortlist, if you come to us and you tell us that, look, I'm going for a shortlist building service, right? What we would do is we would try to prefer universities which would not only give you the admits but also the funding. So universities like SIT over here, right, that's a little bit more preferred. That may be safe for most applicants, but hey, when we're having to add safe universities, why add SUNY Buffalo? Maybe we'll just add SIT because that is giving out more funding, right? So it depends. Some people have the priority of location, some people have the priority of funding. Depends from person to person, depends on their perspectives. That's why we take in the inputs. But again, these things you can actually do for yourself as well, and that's really how you can do it. The data is right in front of you. We are not charging for that. Okay, you can actually take a look at the rejects as well, by the way. Let's take a look at the rejects. Let's see if there are any that came out recently. No, I don't think so. Like even right here, you can see that they're not really very new. So mostly the rejects are not out yet. Some universities, they actually like to take things slow. First, they push out some admits, and later on at some stage that they feel, oh look, we have almost filled up the seats at this point of time, or they're all full at this point of time, then they'll roll out the rejects. So some universities like to do that phase by phase. Some universities do it in the end. Depends on the university. You can see all of that is right in front of you. The data is right here. All right, I hope that this video helps you. If it does, again, consider subscribing to the channel so that I can bring such content to you on a daily basis. And of course, my Instagram page will be a much more quick update kind of a page where you can actually get much more updates quicker. Like these updates, I'm pushing them out based on a video when 3 universities are doing the admits and rejects. But for the most part, Instagram, I can do it on a single university basis as well. So you can actually follow me over there if you're interested. And I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye and take care for now.